So yesterday I did a quick, literally 2.5 minutes during my lunch break, asking the question, what do you need to be happy today? And I had a very interesting conversation with a fellow who was quite upset with me because he felt like I was just being quite flippant in terms of, not giving any concrete advice and solutions. And I was just kind of, throwing things out there that were not meaningful. And I just found that to be so interesting. So I tried, of course, as I always do, to engage him in a conversation about, explaining to him that, my job was not necessarily to give solutions, because again, solutions are something that you each find on your own based on where you are in your life's journey, right? My job was just simply to ask the questions and to plant seeds. And so whenever that seed, catches and takes fruition, whenever that is, it is what it is. Might be this lifetime, might be another lifetime. And so he continued on with the text messaging back and forth and said, it's how do you recover from loss? And so I decided to do this just to kind of, there might be others out there who might, not have vocalized their, being upset with this, brief, sort of positive, optimistic, rah rah, what it appears to be, but that's not the intention. And I'm grateful for everyone who received it in the light that it was intended to be, you know. But I think, he said this is someone who's going through a separation. He's losing. He said, what about when he's going through a divorce? He's obviously losing a lot of money. He's losing his house. He's worked really hard for. He said, how do you, tell someone who's lost their family, who's lost their wife, who doesn't have, has lost $100,000, how do you tell them to be okay with it? And I said, well, it's just money, and what if they'll never love again? And I said, well, you will love again. I truly believe that. It's not that, I'm speaking from some, book. No, I've lived life and I've experienced loss, and I also know what it feels to, bounce back from losing, the house and losing the family and losing the love and losing the perfect life. And so, if he said, well, you can never go back, you always want to go back. And I think that's the flaw. That's where I think we differentiate in our approach. You obviously cannot go back, guys. We cannot go back. It's life is, at least in this dimension, excuse me, it's in this three-dimensional world that we live in, it's linear. Time is linear. So there's past, present, future. We continue to live in the past, and that's where our issues of anxiety comes up. We need to just move forward, right? You cannot go back and have something that you had and what in times that made you happy. If you try to do that, that will be the source of your continuous sorrow and grief and pain. The challenge is to accept what's going on and find the lesson and move on. Now, of course, it's I wouldn't say easier said than done, because it is easier said than done, I guess, but it's something that I've done repeatedly for 14 years now. So it's not something I'm just, saying because it sounds cool and I haven't experienced it. It is one of the toughest things you're going to do in your life, is accepting and learning the difficult lessons and feeling the painful emotions and moving on. But it's either that or you sleepwalk through life, which is fine as well. It's your life. You're more than welcome to go back and sleepwalk and not deal with the difficult questions. And likely, if you are watching this, chances are you're not sleepwalking. Chances are the Band-Aid is being ripped off. Chances are you're waking up. Chances are you are ready to listen to the messages, because it's not just about me giving the message. It's the message in general, right? When the student's ready, the teacher appears. The teacher could be a book that comes your way. The teacher could be a lyrics of a song that come your way. The teacher could be this little, Facebook Live talk that I'm doing. It's not me, excuse me, it's the message. And so, this person and I can just agree to disagree in that our entire approach is completely, the lens from what we're viewing the world is completely different. So I just said, listen, we can agree to disagree. as a therapist, you're welcome to come for a session, and I can help you, release some of these limiting beliefs through theta healing and through some of the other stuff that I do. And of course, that wasn't even something he was ready to hear or wants to do, which is fine. It just, we just kind of, wished him well, and we continue to be friends, and we said, let's change the topic, moving on. But I just thought it was interesting because, if he's feeling that way, there have to be others feeling that way. And all I can say is, you cannot go back to where life was. You just have to accept. And I really believe that in time, he will come to that. I do believe that this particular gentleman is just in a lot of pain right now and is in the midst of, the trauma of the divorce, that it's a bit raw for him, and he's not ready to learn the lessons yet. And I pray for him that he does. Anyways, I hope this has been helpful, and please continue to comment and share, and wishing you all the best, and take care. God bless.